Foremost of all, of course, the Honourable John Hatzitzagos, amongst many other functions, the Attorney General of New South Wales, who has kindly agreed to be our keynote speaker for the evening. Also present on the table over here is the President of the Cretan Association of Sydney and New South Wales, Mr. Zach Lironis. Zach, thank you very much for coming. The President of the Catherian Association of Australia, Dr. Victor Kepriotis, on the end of the table here. Thank you for coming, Victor. And the Secretary of the Catherian Association, Mr. Spiro Kouliantanos. Where's Spiro? Spiro Kouliantanos, thanks for coming, Spiro, very much. A very special welcome to our special guest, World War II veteran from the Campaign of Greece, Mr. Ozzy Pearce. Very honoured to have you here, Ozzy, and you're very, very welcome, and you're very, very special. And we'll be hearing from you later on. And we thank you very much for taking the time to come and be with us today. There are many senior executives from Lakey Bank on table number 8 over here. Thank you very much for coming, including the General Manager of the Lakey Bank in Australia, Mr. Mihalis Athanasiou, who I think just got off a plane yesterday or today. When did you get in? Monday. So thank you very much for coming, Mihaly. And Mr. Spiro Kanalakis, the Marketing Manager of Lakey Bank. Lakey has been very, very generous in sponsoring Maria's book, and particularly in this latter period, doing a very wonderful job sponsoring and promoting the book very heavily. John Hatzitzagos, you've done Greek Australians proud, and it's my exquisite pleasure to call upon you to deliver the dinner address to a meeting on the subject of Maria Hill's book, Diggers in Greece.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Hill. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to be your host this evening as we come together to celebrate this magnificent book that Dr. Hill has put together, Diggers and Greeks, the Australian campaign in Greece and in Crete. Today is actually a timely opportunity for us to be able to reflect on the significance of Anzac Day for our collective activity, particularly as we enter into a week where we engage in ceremonies not only in Sydney but across the country, in New Zealand, in Papua New Guinea, marking the 25th of April, and also, of course, the various celebrations that will take place in conjunction with, that is, commemoration services of mateship, of valour, of people coming together to reminisce about old times. Anzac Day is, in fact, one of those uniquely Australian occasions which identify with nationhood, and that's why even in the 21st century it remains a very special and a very unique day for all of us. It's a profoundly moving experience for any of us to be able to stand back on one of those occasions during the traditional dawn service or one of the other commemorative services that take place, to watch Australians march in commemoration of something so significant in history. It doesn't represent an occasion of a celebration of victory. In fact, Anzac Day was a defeat. Yet it's part of Australia's story. It's a day to remember the courage and bravery of those who fought, and a day that each of us reflects on with respect. However, as powerful as the Anzac legend is, tonight is also an opportunity for us to gaze to other aspects of Australia's wartime involvement, perhaps which haven't achieved at the same level of recognition. And that's why Maria's book is so important. It explores what could be called the second Gallipoli. Those of you who perhaps may not have read Maria's book should keep the following in mind when deciding whether to begin reading it or not. Maria's book is not obsessed with military strength, details of what happened during the battle, dense political analysis. Rather, it takes on a fresh and insightful approach to the campaign in Greece in 1941 and indeed the subsequent campaign in Crete, investigating the personal interaction between Greek soldiers and Greek allies, the emotions and the attachments that were cultivated between two groups of people against the backdrop of war, and the telling of the story based on primary sources, including the Greek voice, which the book notes is usually missing from Australian accounts of the campaign. In this sense, it is very much an anthropological approach to the campaigns in Greece and in Crete, and the narrative is in a form that's highly readable. So allow me to begin to read just a short passage from the beginning of chapter 5, which, interestingly, is titled Sheila's Nightclubs and Boozing. This is how the passage reads. There is no doubt that the Australians were accorded a hero's welcome in Athens upon their arrival in Greece. Right through we were greeted with shouts of Astralos, Kalinichta, Kalimera and Niki, wrote Sergeant Robertson. The Greek people lined the streets of Athens, throwing flowers, cheering Zitoi Australia. Greece was a totally different experience from Egypt for Australian soldiers. The landscape was breathtakingly beautiful, a big change from the deserts of Egypt and North Africa. The Greek countryside had a powerful effect on soldiers. Just imagine one day dust, heat and dirty Alexandria, 2 days later waking up in the beautiful woods, in the beautiful clean air, hills all around us, and nothing but grass and little cottages among the woods, wrote Ken Cliff. Maria's book also asks some very confronting questions. Why were the diggers who fought in Greece and Crete never issued with a campaign medal? Why were the soldiers forbidden for many years to wear the medal that was issued to them by the Greek government on Anzac Day? They're valid questions, especially given that Australia had committed a considerable number of its soldiers to these campaigns. Some historians have argued that the campaigns in Greece were overshadowed by the symbolic significance of Gallipoli. Others have portrayed the Greek campaign as hindering Hitler's invasion of Russia, whilst others again have maintained that the significance of the campaigns in Greece and in Crete was in cutting the supply lines to Rommel's army in North Africa. The book explores these different viewpoints, and Maria presents her own view. And she argues in her afterward, quote, "The study of war is not just about guns, machines, strategies and tactics, it's also about engaging with others to form connections that can assist in coping with the trauma and the chaos that war creates in people's lives." Maria's book introduces us to an important chapter of our history, bringing us a new insight into Australia's involvement in Greek campaigns. And it's fitting that we honour those sacrifices made by many Greeks and Australians in these campaigns, and I can think of no better occasions to do so than in the lead up to Anzac Day, to pay homage to the men and women who played a part in these events. Thank you very much.